Have you ever heard of the 10 Commandments, and do you know any of them?
Very quick.
Very
Respect of the parents.
Respect to the parents. That's very
The
good.
first one that comes on my mind.
Nice.
Maybe I was naughty boy, I don't remember.
Wow. No, not at all. No,
Okay,
I know thou shalt not kill.
Okay, well, that's one. Let's see if you can get all 10. Or
Let's
close
see.
to.
I know thou shalt respect your mother and father.
Nice.
There's like one like that.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not, all those shalt nots. Oh man.
How many do I know? I probably know all of them.
Okay, go for it.
No, I don't. The most prominent would be
Okay.
Al Tirtzach.
Okay, don't murder.
If it's so simple, murder, then don't murder. Respect your parents.
Nice.
And now I have a blackout regarding
Okay.
the rest.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Not murder, not thief, yeah?
Yeah.
Not cheat.
And cheating, when we say cheating, we're talking about adultery. Yeah, we're talking about
Yes.
sleeping with other people.
Exactly.
Nice.
Respect your parents.
Awesome. I'll give you a clue. It happens after Friday.
What happens after Friday? What happens after Friday? You should respect the Shabbat.
Keep the Shabbat. Nice.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
keep the
good.
Shabbat. This is 5?
We've got 5.
Saba. I said I know almost all 10.
Almost. 5 is halfway. We're good.
I think it was the 3rd grade since I tried to say all of them.
Yeah, there's some that are related to God. So, like the first one is, I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods but me.
Okay. Shema Yisrael.
Okay, exactly.
What else?
And there's not to worship idols.
Okay, right.
And there's one that's very difficult to monitor because it happens in here.
What is it?
This one is don't lachmod.
Oh yeah.
Don't
want
covet.
too much.
Don't want what somebody else has. Like you look at
Right.
someone
Yeah,
else and
yeah.
you say, I want what they have.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's a good
It happens
one.
in our heart.
Zol Achmod.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
where do you guys think these 10 Commandments come from?
I think it's just like wisdom of people.
You think people created them?
Yes.
Yeah. And they stood the test of time?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
The same.
Yeah.
I'm not a religion guy, so
Yeah.
I really think that people with time, they create those amendments and rules to live a better life.
Where did it came from? I'm guessing, is there an answer?
Well, there are opinions.
Okay.
If you ask me,
Yeah.
right, I think that God wrote them down and handed them to Moses. I believe in the story,
Okay,
right?
okay.
But I want to give you the opportunity to say
Actually,
what you think.
I never had the chance to think about this, but now when you're asking this question, I don't know. I don't think that Moses just sat and thought alone about those 10
Right. He was in his tent,
sentences.
had a bottle of single malt, and was just like,
So maybe it was God that wrote it. Maybe not. Maybe there was a panel sitting together thinking about what they're going to present to the rest of the people. I'll go for this. I
Okay.
think maybe some people just sat together. Moses just...
right?
I am an Hellenist.
Okay.
I would say politique. Politique is police, the
Right.
society. The society made them.
Okay.
It came, it's not a surprise. God is not in the... God is us. Okay.
Okay.
If we go in that way. But for me, it's just politics, police society.
So the 10 Commandments, it's a pretty big question. As believers in Jesus and believers in the Bible, we have a pretty solid faith in the fact that what God has shown us in the works of the Bible is true. So when I think about where did the 10 Commandments come from, I actually believe that it's the one piece of the entire Old Testament that God wrote with his own hand. Yeah? What is the purpose? Why do I follow these things? It's because God was together working with the people of Israel to try and change the world, to take what happened, the consequences of the fall in the Garden of Eden, and to make this world a different place, a better place for people and for all of the universe. Now, that brings us to our parasha this week, which is called Parashat Yitro. All right, Yitro is the Hebrew way of saying Jethro. Now, Jethro, as you know, is Moses' father-in-law. And our parasha begins with Jethro coming to Moses and saying, dude, the way this whole couple of million people is being run, it's just too much. You can't do it all by yourself. You got to get help. And then after that, and he figures out a way of distributing the responsibilities, it then comes to God telling Moses, get ready, I'm going to give you something amazing on the third day, wink, wink. And then after 3 days, he gives us the 10 commandments. Now, when we think about trying to make the world a better place, it's very easy for all of us to say, well, we need a solution because this world is messed up. And here in the Middle East, it is incredibly messy. We are continually bombarded, to use a pun, from all sides with difficulties both inside our country, coming from outside of our country. It is what you would call distress and discord. And for the gamers watching this video, discord means disunity. It's not just an app that you type to your friend zone. But so how do we find the solution, and where does the solution come from? Well, one of the reasons that we're in such trial and difficulty here in this country is because we've reduced the way that we engage with each other to what one particular person, a guy called Rousseau, called a social contract. He essentially said that the only ways that we relate to each other are by how we get things from each relationship. So I want to get X, you want to get Y, I make sure you get Y, I get X, and then we're happy. But social contracts don't actually work. And every time we engage with each other on what we're going to get out of it, things tend to fall apart. The 10 Commandments, and in fact the Torah as a whole, is much more than a social contract. It's a covenant. Now, covenants are quite complex, and in the ancient world, they had a very serious structure that people stuck to. But a covenant is something where, rather than I'm trying to get something from you and you get something from me, a covenant is much more about how are we going to work together to create something more than if we just tried to do it by ourselves. It's something that reaches down into our identity and not just what we do. And I think that is something that could bring a change to all of us. If we lived our life in covenant with each other, if I agreed that I'm going to live a certain way, the 10 Commandments, for example, I'm going to live a certain way so that your life and my life changes. And God comes around and makes it different for all of us and changes the way that we live. Now, Jesus obviously made a covenant. We all know the name of the book. We call it the New Covenant or the New Testament. And this covenant came into our lives not just to create a better sense of unity, but to change our identity from within, so that we now identify ourselves as people not trying to work our way through this world as individuals, but people who are tied together by more than just commitment. And I agree, the way that we see in the 10 Commandments, but by blood, by someone's life, by Jesus who came and gave it all so that this world and we as a human community can change. And that, I think, is something to be joyous for, to be hopeful about, something that I think could bring a change even to a place as discordant as the Middle East. That is Parashat Yitro. And if you have ways that you think the 10 Commandments have engaged you, helped you, or a way that you think the world should rearrange itself, why don't you write it in the comments below? We'd love to interact and engage with your thoughts. Don't forget, obviously, to subscribe, to like, and to ring that bell. Have a great day.